At 55 miles per hour, you save gasoline, which is real money these days. At 55, you save yourself troubles you really don't need. But 55 miles per hour saves you more than that. 55 saves lives. Since 1974, 55 has been the single biggest factor in reducing highway deaths by more than 36,000 people. One of them could be you. 55 saves lives.
About 50 million people in America smoke cigarettes. 42% of all adult men, 31% of all adult women. They bought 538 billion cigarettes last year at a cost of nearly $9 billion, supporting farmers, manufacturers, distributors, and advertisers, and adding more than $4 billion to the tax revenues of federal, state, and local governments. Cigarettes are also a costly health problem felt in the United States and around the world by the victims of lung cancer, coronary heart disease, emphysema, and related diseases. A young man who smokes 2 packs a day on the average may lose 8 years from his lifespan. The problem started about the time of World War I, when people began switching from pipes, chewing tobacco, and cigars to cigarettes. This change was important because cigarette smoke was mild enough to inhale, and because women, who had not used a significant amount of tobacco previously, began to smoke when cigarettes became popular. Lung cancer, once a relatively rare disease, began to appear more often in the population, especially among men who were heavy smokers. Laboratory scientists began to look at cigarette smoke. They found a number of substances in cigarette smoke which could produce cancer in test animals. Clinical and autopsy studies of human smokers showed a comparatively higher incidence of various kinds of respiratory system damage and abnormalities, including cell changes that are thought to precede cancer. Finally, in 1964, scientists put the story together in the Surgeon General's report. The verdict was that cigarette smoking is dangerous to health for several reasons. Cigarette smoking is the most important cause of lung cancer. Lung cancer is a quick, usually fatal disease. More than 64,000 people will probably die of lung cancer this year, most of them heavy smokers. Cigarette smoking is one of the major coronary heart disease risk factors, which also include high blood pressure and elevated serum cholesterol. Itself a risk, smoking makes the other risks more serious. A middle-aged man who smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day is 3 times more likely to die of coronary heart disease than is the non-smoker of the same age. Emphysema and chronic bronchitis is the third disease group associated with cigarette smoking. Unlike lung cancer, emphysema and chronic bronchitis are long, lingering diseases which progressively reduce a person's ability to live a normal life. But serious illness after years of smoking is not the only danger. Impaired respiratory function appears in many smokers after only a few years of smoking. Smoking is a form of personal pollution. The smoker regularly exposes himself to large quantities of irritating gases and particles of substances known to cause cancer. If smoking is so harmful, why do people smoke? There are many reasons why young people start smoking, but whatever these reasons are, it is not for the pleasure that the cigarette produces. You have to learn to like cigarettes. After people have started, their reasons for continuing are more complicated. People who smoke cigarettes regularly have learned to like them for reasons that have more to do with their own personalities than with any effect the cigarette has. Some people smoke to feel good, some to feel less bad, some people to have something to do with their hands. Some people smoke out of habit. Some people are psychologically addicted to cigarettes. Behind all these reasons for smoking is the fact that the use of cigarettes is freely permitted and even encouraged. Many parents and many teachers smoke. Cigarettes are energetically promoted by advertising. Knowledge of the harmful effects of cigarette smoke has produced some positive changes. Since 1964, cigarette consumption has actually gone down after about 50 years of steady increase. About 30 million smokers have quit. The problem of cigarette smoking is frequently overshadowed by the illegal drugs of abuse. Since cigarette smoking is legal and socially acceptable and doesn't lead to antisocial behavior, it is different from other forms of substance abuse. You have to learn to like cigarettes. You have to learn to depend on them. Doctors never prescribe cigarettes, and there is no way to use them safely. Smoking doesn't produce a high. For many people, it doesn't even produce much pleasure. It does carry the risks of serious illness and a shortened life.
Retire at 25? If you have MS, multiple sclerosis, you may have to. And sit back in your wheelchair to watch the man next door play ball with your son. I'm Richard Widmark. MS is the great crippler of young adults, a disease of the brain and spinal cord. It can block or scramble nerve messages that let us walk, talk, see, even move. MS usually strikes between the ages of 20 and 40, the good years. Much too young to suddenly know you may be through. There's no cure for MS yet, but there is hope, through research sponsored by the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Our contributions could help discover that cure and move the retirement age for MS patients back up to 65, where it should be. When the MS volunteer calls, give generously. MS is my cause. Make it yours. Thank you.
This driver got to this point 14 seconds sooner than this one. He could have killed himself and others in the process. 14 seconds saved. Was it worth it?
Hey, man,
Cool it, Daddy. The way eggs are selling, everyone knows they're plentiful.
crazy, man.
This is Jack Jones with a few words to the young group. I recommend you take a look into the cadet program of Civil Air Patrol. I think you'll be surprised and impressed with the aerospace programs and activities designed especially for you.
For information, write Civil Air Patrol, Ellington Air Force Base, Texas.
Hi, this is Max Baer with a few words to you younger folks. Why don't you take a look into the cadet program of Civil Air Patrol? I know you'll be surprised and impressed with the aerospace activities and programs designed especially for you.
For information, write Civil Air Patrol, Ellington Air Force Base, Texas.
I'm Julie Andrews. In our everyday living, each of us is busy with our own lives, our own joys, our problems. But living is a matter of sharing. I'd like to ask that you join with me in sharing a joy and a problem. The problem is MS, multiple sclerosis. MS is the great crippler of young adults, a disease of the central nervous system. MS victims often can neither walk nor read the boldest headlines nor speak without garbling their words. MS usually means long years of increasing disability, often eventual paralysis. There is no cure yet, but there is hope through research sponsored by the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. By sharing in the MS problem, you also share in the joy of giving that hope. When your MS volunteer calls, please give generously. Thank you.
What are you doing, Fred? I'm making a list of the 7 warning signals that might mean cancer.
No need, Fred. We just got our list from this American Cancer Society volunteer.
God, those you love, no cancer's warning signals. Give to your American Cancer Society.
Have you seen all the newspaper stories on America's balance of payments deficit and our outflow of dollars? Well, naturally, I got concerned. So I sent a postcard to the Secretary of Commerce, Secretary Connor, and he sent me this booklet, Keeping the American Dollar Strong. Now, it tells what President Johnson and our government and bankers and businessmen are doing to stop the drain of dollars. It's not going to be easy. But now that I know all those people are working on it, I feel a lot better about the whole thing.
If you'd like a copy of the booklet Jack got from the Secretary of Commerce, write to Good as Gold, Department of Commerce, Washington, D.C.
Oh, Don, you forgot to tell him the booklet is free.
Thank you, Jack. Now, friends, get a pencil and jot down this address. Write in today.
A postcard will do.
There's Lassie. And this is Amanda Blake, Kitty of Gunsmoke. We're asking you to help save the lives of millions of dogs and cats who will die this year because they can't find homes. Only you can save them.
Right Humane Society of the United States, Washington 36, D.C.
Monsters do have their place. In the zoo, in your nightmares, in the deep, in your favorite horror movies. But not in your living room, on your TV. Don't let pay TV be the monster in your living room. Pay TV and cable TV companies are seeking the right to charge you for the very programs you now get free. If you want to stop pay TV and save free television, sign the petition in the lobby of this theater. Let your lawmakers know how you feel in the fight against pay TV and cable TV.
The house we live in. That's Billy. He's pretty handy to have around. Steve, home from college. Barbie, looking after her brother Timmy. Debbie, who'll soon graduate from high school. Susan, our youngest. And my wife Peggy, who looks after all of us. And that's me, Bill Tallman, with a friend of mine you might recognize. You know, I didn't really mind losing those courtroom battles, but I'm in a battle right now I don't want to lose at all. Because if I lose it, it means losing my wife and those kids you just met. I've got lung cancer. So take some advice about smoking and losing from someone who's been doing both for years. If you don't smoke, don't start. If you do smoke, quit. Don't be a loser.
It can take nature 100 careful years to grow a tree. But a man can burn it down in just one careless second. Please help prevent forest fires.
Because our society is only as strong as all its individuals, the United Negro College Fund has helped educate thousands of doctors and researchers, but we need more. Thousands of architects and engineers, but we need more. Thousands of teachers and biologists, but we need more. And when disease, injustice, pollution, poverty, and countless other problems threaten to pull us apart, we had better educate every single person who has the potential to solve our problems. And to educate more people, we need more of your help. Give to the United Negro College Fund. With so much at stake, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
The first American people loved the land. They held it in simple reverence. And in some Americans today, that spirit is reborn. This is South Coast Botanic Garden in California. Once this was a dumping ground for trash and litter. Community volunteers cleaned, planted, and reclaimed it. And there the land is good again. But all around us are reminders of how far we still have to go. So everyone must get involved now. To contact the Keep America Beautiful team nearest you, write Keep America Beautiful, 99 Park Avenue, New York, New York. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Because so many Americans think getting drunk is fun, we thought you might like to join us in the national drinking game. Just answer yes or no to the following 10 questions. Do you talk a lot about drinking?
Only when I'm awake.
Do you drink more than you used to?
I try to.
Do you gulp your drinks?
Only out of a glass.
Do you often take a drink to feel better? Do you drink alone?
Only if I'm stuck.
Do you ever forget what you did while you were drinking? Do you keep a bottle hidden somewhere for quick pick-me-ups?
How does he know?
Do you sometimes start drinking without really thinking about it?
Sometimes.
Do you need a drink to have fun?
I do now.
Do you ever take a drink in the morning to relieve a hangover?
Uh-huh.
Congratulations. If you had 4 or more yes answers, then you may be one of over 9 million Americans with a drinking problem.
Sue Collins thinks she's out to get her brother a haircut, but she's out to get you. Sue's been driving for 6 years, never made a serious mistake. Until today. Now, it's your mistake, too. Drive defensively. Watch out for the other guy.
I do, Tiff. What? I know all right. But do you know what they do? Sure. What? Make you act funny. Yeah, well. Well, what? You know what kinds there are? Kinds of what? Drugs. I know. You know you can smoke them? Sure, like a cigarette. And you can take them like a pill, too. And you can sniff them. You can what? Sniff them. Smell them like a flower. Come on. It's the truth. And you can stick them in your arm with a needle. A needle? A big old needle. Not me, boy. What if you had to? Why would I have to? Because. Because what? Well, I mean, what? Drugs are like that. If you keep bouncing that ball in the house, I'm going to tell. Oh, all right. Come on, we'll build something.
Once you start some things, you just can't stop. And drugs are like that, too. You pick it up and it's hard to drop. And drugs are like that, too. Like a baby going through a phase. And like a player playing in a daze. Yeah, yeah, you break a rule and you have to pay. It may not hurt, but then again it may. Drugs are like that too, you know. Drugs are like that too, I know, no. Drugs are like that too.
How come you know so much? About what? About drugs and stuff. Oh, a lady came to our school today. Do they all do that? What? Make you act funny. Sorta. What'd she tell you? Who? The lady. Oh, lots of stuff. Like what? She told us about a baby. A what? A baby.
This is a baby. The baby lives in a crib because he can't take very good care of himself. The baby wears diapers because, well, we know all about that. The baby is kind of scared, so he sucks on this thing to take his mind off his troubles. Drugs are like that. Uh-oh. He must really have been hooked on that thing. Drugs are like that, too.
You know what that means? Hooked? Like he's gotta have it. Yeah. Give me that. Wonder why he's gotta have that. What? That thing he puts in his mouth. 'Cause he's dumb. He's not dumb, he's a baby. You don't think babies are dumb? No, they're just what? Babies. That's what I said. That's kid stuff, I guess. What are you making? Something. What is it? A windmill? It's something. Is it a windmill? It's something. What else did she say? Who? The lady. Oh yeah. Did you ever step on a crack? A what? A crack.
Step on a line, break your mother's back. Step on the line.
This is a sort of a game, not stepping on the lines and cracks. It's kind of fun. But if you play it long enough, it can get to be a habit. Drugs are like that. Habits are very easy to get started and very hard to stop. Habits can be pretty dangerous sometimes. Habits can cost you a lot of money. In the long run, habits are a lot more trouble than they're worth. Drugs are like that, too.
The lady said that habits were very easy to get started and very hard to stop. I could. You could what? Stop a habit if I had one. Don't you? What? Have any habits? No. You bite your fingernails. That's no habit. I could stop whenever I wanted to. Why don't you then? Because I need that piece. How about the way you fold your hair? What about it? That's a habit. Oh, it is not. You do it all the time. I could stop any time I wanted to. Why don't you then? Because. Is it some kind of a machine? What? What you building? You'll see. Come on. Is it a machine? It's a machine. It's a machine. Didn't she tell you they make you act funny? What? Drugs, marijuana, stuff like that. Didn't she tell you that it makes you act funny? Sure she did. What'd she tell you? She said it was like if you were a real good ball player.
This guy's a pretty good ball player. He can catch, he can throw. He can hit, he can run. He can even do something silly just because it makes him feel funny. Lots of things make you feel funny. Drugs are like that. Of course, when you get to feeling that way, you can't do quite so much, and you can't do it quite so good. Some things can make you look pretty stupid. Drugs are like that, too.
Why would he do that? Why would he do what? Get all funny, dizzy, and try to do something, like play ball. That's the thing. Suppose it was like a what? Like a habit, you know. You mean like the lines and cracks or something? Yeah, like that. Or that baby and that thing he sucks on? Yeah. Boy, that's dumb. What's it gonna do? What? What you're making. Is it gonna do anything? You'll see. I bet it won't do anything. The machine, I'll do something all right. I bet it's a windmill. That's really dumb. What? Drugs, taking drugs. Oh, yeah. And that's not all. You know something else the lady told us about? What? I'm gonna get some cookies.
This is someone who's doing something she's not supposed to.
Oh.
She's not supposed to get into the cookie jar. It's like there was a law against it. Some things are against the law, you know. Drugs are like that. But go back and look at it another way. She's not supposed to go after the cookies. Maybe that's the reason she's not supposed to go after the cookies. Maybe it's not such a bad law after all. But she can't talk about that right now. She's wondering whether those cookies were really worth it. Drugs are like that, too.
You gotta want a cookie pretty bad to go through all that. Hand me that. That's the whole point, silly. What point? About drugs. What about them? Like, if they get to be a habit, you can look silly and get hurt and get punished and everything. Are you going to make it work? You'll see. Are you going to tell me what it is? It's an internal motion machine. What's that? It's a machine, and it works, and it's perfect, and it just keeps on working. I thought it was a windmill. Yeah, well, it's not. What do you mean, hurt? What do you mean? You said drugs can hurt you. How do you know they can? How do you know they can't? How do you know they can? How do you know they can't? How do you know they can't? Because that's what the lady said about the lake. What lake?
This looks like a great lake to swim across. This looks like great water to dive in. This looks like a great rope to swing on. The whole setup looks great. But it can fool you. Drugs are like that. Never mind what they look like they'll do. It's what they might do you have to worry about. The rope might be great to swing on. But it might make you look pretty stupid. The water might look great to dive in, but it might be a real pain in the neck. The lake might be great to swim across. But it might be all she wrote. Drugs are like that, too.
So they're not sure drugs can hurt you. They're not sure they can. So why do people fool around with them? Just dumb, I guess. Yeah. Want to see my internal motion machine work? Can I turn it on? Go ahead. Boy, that's neat. It really worked. Of course it worked. I planned it all out. You were just lucky. What do you mean, lucky? Every single part is doing just exactly what I wanted it to. Yeah. You know what? What? People are like that. Who is? People. Us. We're like the machine. We take good care of ourselves, and don't do anything dumb, and everything works fine. Yeah, I guess. What would happen if we made one little change, just for fun? Did what? Just tried one little thing, just for kicks. I don't know. Go ahead, try it. All you did was try one little thing. I just did it for kicks. You know what? What? Dogs are like that.
Getting older is a lot like walking down a street you never walked down before. You never know what's around the next corner. Some of the things might be great. Some of the things might be terrible.
About 6 weeks.
Some of the things might look terrible and turn out to be great. Some of the things might look great and turn out to be terrible. Drugs are like that. So, be careful turning corners.
You've learned the importance of friendship, of having someone you can depend on in good times and bad. But problems come along, and sometimes your friend takes on more than he can handle. Maybe he gets involved with drugs. Then he needs your help. Let him know you care, and remember, others can help too. Learn how drug abuse can be stopped. Send for this new booklet. Write Friend, Box 1701, Washington, D.C.
Ah, lovely day for a drive. Well, let's be off. Scenery's grand. Much more fun than looking straight ahead. Hey, look out. Huh. Some guys never look where they're going. Anyway, it's a delightful day, so relax. Hey, that's pretty good, huh? Steering with just one finger. Uh-oh, you're driving off the road. Not your fault, though. They should build the roads wider. Ah, here's a wide open stretch. Bet the old buggy can really go, go, go. Oh, don't mind her. She's just a killjoy. Hey, this is really what you call living, huh? Sometimes it's called something else. Won't you drive even more carefully? Support your local safety council.
Child abuse can be prevented. Progress is being made. A lot is being done. But unfortunately, it's not enough. Many communities still lack crisis centers and self-help programs for child abusers. Yet we can prevent child abuse. There are things that can be done in communities across America, as well as right in your own neighborhood. But abused children are helpless unless you help. To find out what you can do, please write Prevent Child Abuse, Box 2866, Chicago, Illinois.
Heart disease is a family problem, and the control of this leading health enemy is a family affair. Yes, there are steps that every one of you can take to reduce the risk of heart attack. Regular exercise, for example. It improves the circulation and strengthens the heart. And weight control. Extra pounds increase the risk of high blood pressure and heart attack. Another way to reduce your family's risk is to eat a good, balanced diet, low in cholesterol and saturated fats. Control of high blood pressure reduces the risk of both heart attack and stroke. And remember, too, heavy cigarette smokers have heart attacks at a rate 2 to 3 times higher than non-smokers. Yes, there are steps every member of the family can take to reduce the risk of heart attack. And the first step is to your doctor's office to see him regularly. For more information on reducing the risk of heart attack, ask your heart association.
Out of the land of the tobacco plant come a tall, hard-riding, long, lean bloke, feared by his friends and enemies alike, called by the name of Johnny Smoke. Johnny Smoke. Johnny Smoke. Where are you heading, Johnny Smoke? How many silos will be empty tonight? How many men will lie still beneath the sky? How many tears will be shed because of you? How many more will die? Out of the land of the tobacco plant come a tall, fast-drawing, long, lean bloke, feared by his friends and enemies alike, feared by all who come to know the name of Johnny Smoke.
Like father, like son. Like father, like son. Think about it.
For information on smoking and heart disease, ask your heart association.
Something's wrong. For last year in the United States, an estimated 1 million children suffered needlessly, not because of accidents or disease. They suffered from abuse and neglect, and 2,000 of them died. Something's wrong, but it doesn't have to be. For more information on child abuse and how you can help, write Prevent Child Abuse, Box 2866, Chicago, Illinois, 60690.
It's easy to hide from the monsters under the bed. Or in the closet. We have to stop hiding from the real monsters.
Symbols. We're all familiar with them. There are shortcuts to vital information. That's why, to familiarize you with the movie rating symbols which will be used by this theater, we present the following guide for parents and young people. It is designed to inform parents about the suitability of movie content for viewing by their children. G, all ages admitted, general audiences. GP, all ages admitted, parental guidance suggested. R, restricted, under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. X, no one under 17 admitted.
Sizzling hot dogs, bursting with juicy goodness. Show starts in 1 minute.
Mr. Yuck is mean. Mr. Yuck is green.
Home is full of lots of things that children shouldn't touch. Home is full of bad things that can hurt you very much. Now there's a man whose face is green that you ought to get to know. He'll warn you when danger's coming fast or slow. Get to know his face in every single place. When you see it, you'll know quick. Things marked yuck make you sick, 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 sick. Mr. Yuck is mean. Mr. Yuck is green.
A beautiful forest destroyed because someone was careless with a match, a smoke, or a campfire. Now the birds and animals have no place to stay. Their food and homes have been burned away. Please, make people more careful.
You are looking at an abused child. Most men and women in prison today were abused children. It is estimated that there are at least 1 million cases of child abuse in America each year. And because many abused children grow up to abuse their own children, child abuse is passed on from generation to generation. Child abusers can be helped. Help destroy a family tradition. Write Prevent Child Abuse, Box 2866, Chicago, Illinois.
I've seen hundreds of accidents on the freeway, and cars have been totaled, and people just walked away from them without...
One driver in 4 is involved in an auto accident each year.
Oh, I couldn't be bothered. They're too confining.
I suppose a day doesn't go by that I don't get in the car.
And many of the ones who had accidents also had good excuses for not wearing safety belts.
I don't know. I never use them just to go shopping. Besides, they wrinkle my dress.
Some excuses are good for broken bones and skull fractures.
Around town, they feel uncomfortable. And I like to relax when I drive.
There are 1,000,001 excuses for not wearing safety belts. Some are real killers.
Week's time will do wonders for a garden. But it will take a lifetime to restore this forest.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
A forest is many things. Shady places where you can camp.
Good places for picnics, too.
Yes, and a home for wildlife.
All kinds of wildlife.
Timberland for lumber harvest. And grazing land so there'll be meat for dinner.
And milk in the morning.
Watershed to make sure you'll get water when you turn the tap on at home.
A forest is sure a lot of things.
Yes, but let a little fire get started. Catch on, destroy, and your forest is nothing.
Nothing for anybody.
You have so many reasons to protect your forests. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
Kids are impressionable. That's why here at this station, we watch the programs and commercials your child watches carefully. He may see bad guys, but not in the role of heroes. And he'll learn that crime doesn't pay. Because your child's welfare is our concern, too. That's part of our code. The code of the National Association of Broadcasters for television in the greater public interest.
Is for everybody, not just for the few. Anyone can share VD with someone nice as you. VD is for everybody, darling, have no doubt that anyone can get VD. That's what it's all about.
If you're curious or confused, get information or a pamphlet at most pharmacies or a health clinic. If you need help, see a doctor.
Tommy, you're pathetic. You little brat.
Child abuse is also known by some other words.
Jerk, you moron. You're so clumsy.
Words like these can hit as hard as a fist.
You were never born. I hate you.
What you say to your children can determine how they feel about
You
themselves
slob. You're worthless.
and how they feel about you. Get the picture. Stop using words that hurt. Start using words that help. For helpful information, contact us.
Look, Boo-Boo, a smoldering cigarette butt. Our good friend Smokey the Bear will be glad I stamped this one out. Ouch! 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 O-U-C-H! Ouch!
Why do people smoke, Yogi?
According to statistics, they'd be better off if they didn't.
Why don't they quit then, Yogi?
It's not easy to quit smoking, Boob. Most of today's smokers started as teenagers, before the dangers of cigarette smoking were known. The kids thought smoking made them look grown up.
And now they can't quit, eh, Yogi?
They can quit, but it isn't easy. Like that man over there. He'd like to quit. He doesn't enjoy smoking, but he's hooked on the cigarette habit.
Does anyone ever quit, Yogi?
It takes willpower. A lot of people have quit, but the best way is not to ever start smoking. Then you won't end up like that man, smoking cigarette after cigarette and coughing his fool head off.